Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I'm wearing fuchsia. I know I should be festive and Christmassy and all that beautiful stuff, but I decided to wear fuchsia today because I crave summer already. Let me know if you agree. Put your hands up. So let's dive in. We are doing a three-part holiday metabolism series. This time of year is the time where many of us feel pulled in a million different directions. We feel that there's heightened anxiety and to-dos around the holidays. And all of a sudden, we've taken ourselves from here to here. And routine is off and all these wonderful things. And many of us still do give ourselves some grace with the good old excuse, because it is an excuse, I'm going to explain why here in a second, that we will start fresh in January when things get back to normal, kids are back in school, or relatives have gone back home, or whatever it may be. And it's to no fault of our own, because our brain is designed for two things: to keep us alive and to seek pleasure. And it seeks pleasure not from change. So that excuse is sort of giving us a sense of like, oh, it's okay. That's why New Year's resolutions are still around. So we are going to dive into this three-part series. It's going to be live here in our group only. And the purpose around this three-part series is to talk about metabolic insurance in the age of 40s, 50s, and 60s. Okay, and what that beautiful metabolic insurance does is allows us to put away and compartmentalize that guilt, that start fresh January, that I'll worry about this later, and allows us just to be present, to enjoy, but still honor ourselves. Okay, so we're in a three-part series. If we haven't met, I know there's a bunch of new members in our private Mojo Moni community, over 3,000 plus in here. My name is Monica Tupholme. Everyone knows me as Moni. I am a function nutritionist and function fitness expert, and I specifically work with women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s to help them up level their good whole food eating that they already do and their amazing workouts that they already do, so they can rid hormonal fluff and reconnect, more importantly, reconnect with who they are and who they want to be as we progress into these beautiful decades. The game has changed, and I'm not preaching from the choir. I'm going to be 50 here in 2 weeks tomorrow, 50, the big 50. And I have gone through the shifts myself. Call it perimenopause, call it menopause, whatever you'd like. It does not matter. We still feel it, and the game has changed no matter how clean you eat, how hard you work out. Okay, so that is why I'm here. I work specifically with you guys to up level that. And we talk a lot about up here. I studied epigenetics for a reason. We talk a lot about beliefs and behavior change, because that, when people say that fancy word of sustainable results or your maintenance phase, that's 80% of the journey is up here, okay? And learning. So we're going to be talking about that because it all relates to that metabolic insurance. Okay, scientifically, what does that mean? It means that we have this sort of hormonal sweet spot where we have healed and primed our hormones to work for us, so that our metabolism is now in sync. Because remember, hormones are the messengers, your metabolism is the engine. Okay, that it's in sync so that we, in the sweet spot, so that we can utilize fats and carbohydrates for energy. We are not storing it. Okay. And when we have this sort of metabolic sweet spot, it allows us to have pizza and wine Fridays, girlfriend getaway weekends, okay, traveling to Halifax to see loved ones. It allows us to have this flexibility. And what is life? Because food is, yes, information, but food is also experience and culture and religion and life, right? So metabolic insurance is what we work for towards in the 3M system, which is my signature flagship 4-month one-to-one system where we work with you on getting that metabolic insurance so we can live our lives but still feel strong and connected. Okay, whether that be ridding hormonal fluff or just tightening and toning your core area or just feeling good in your jeans, whatever that goal is for you. Okay, but let's talk about part one in our holiday metabolism series about what if I told you that permission actually leads to food freedom. Sounds Juicy. Okay, and if we're watching taped or live, just say hi. I see a couple of you guys on here. Just say hello and hi. Food freedom, because like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of anxiety around the holidays when it comes to ourselves. Because why? Because in essence, we feel like we might be letting ourselves down because others are calling on us so much. Because who really runs the show around this time? Hey, let's be honest. And if your spouse or partner is in there contributing, amazing. But a lot of times that feeling of anxiety or guilt is towards ourselves and that we are letting ourselves down. Okay. We feel that we just don't have the motivation over the holidays because we're either sick or tired or run down, or there's not enough time in the day. We feel pulled in directions. Let me know if that's you. Let me know if you're feeling. Okay. I hear a lot about this distress, right? I'm wrapping up loose ends with work. I'm hosting a dinner of 25. I'm seeing my kids that have been away for university for 10 months, or maybe even longer. We haven't seen them with COVID, right? And all that beautiful stuff. So it's jam-packed schedules. And what's paralyzing for most of us is that, and all the clients that I work with and have worked with, thousands and thousands, is being off routine, right? It's being off the day-to-day. And that is why September, which we call the second January, and January is so, it feels good for us. That's why we're like, it's like a start fresh, right? Because there's a sense of routine back. And when we're out of that routine and there's more people in our space and we feel pulled in those directions, we do become very paralyzed, right? And the celebration starts spilling out to the everyday, right? When you would normally maybe other times of the year, we just have a couple party days here or there, or a couple get-togethers. This now seems like it's just steamrolling. I felt this last weekend. Impromptu, fun get-together with my girlfriends on Friday. It was just supposed to be lunch, and then it kind of spilled over because all of us had free work afternoons just for that day, for whatever reason. And then Saturday had a neighborhood party, and I just kept on like, oh my gosh. And I felt like a pickle on Sunday. Okay, so you guys feel it too. I'm not preaching from the choir. I feel it 100%. The difference is now that I nab myself in those moments and I know how to refrain it. And that's what I obviously teach my clients, and I'm sharing some with you today. But we do have that, there's a fear there because we're consuming more than we normally would. We're eating things that we normally wouldn't eat maybe. And there's ultimately in the back of our head that fear, like, I'm gonna gain weight. Because when we have that sense of heaviness, right away that mean girl comes in and says, you're fat, right? You've gained, don't get stuff on the scale, you've probably gained 10 pounds, right? Remember, weight is water. Inches is fat. It's one of the first things I teach clients. Huge difference, okay? But let's just take a big grounding breath. And just pause from the hamster wheel that's spinning. Let's get off of it for a second, okay? Because when you're busy and then you have someone like myself, or maybe you follow a social media fitness expert and they're saying, make sure you drink your water, make sure you keep your portions, make sure you're moving your body, make sure you go for your walks, all these things, your brain it's like that emoji, right? And we just become overwhelmed, even though I can't handle that word, but overwhelmed in our day-to-day life. And then through the holidays, something's got to give. And it's usually our stuff, right? Our stuff. First and foremost, please know this. You are doing enough. Okay. And I think in the back of our heads, excuse me, before we get into that food permission and all the goods, in the back of our heads, we feel like we're not doing enough, or we want things to be perfect, maybe still. And honestly, I remember a therapist saying this to me once: if you feel like you suck at everything, it's probably because you're doing too much of everything, right? And like, how can you be successful if you're giving yourself to so many arenas, 1% here, 10% there, family gets 25, visitors get 15, and you're just spreading yourself too thin. It's that old analogy, right? And a lot of times what I say to clients and what I've learned in that process of losing sight of you is, and please write this down, check in with yourself daily. Daily. It's a non-negotiable. Put it on a post-it note in your office. Put it on a post-it note in your fridge. How am I feeling today? What do I need today? What do I want today? Sometimes it's going to be the Christmas cookies, and that is okay. But majority of the time, it could be a nap, a timeout, some laughter, a hug, walk. Okay. So, and really question, that whole thing about learning to say no, how things are going to make you feel. All right. So this is, I know that's the woo-woo stuff, but it does lead into this whole freedom that we get from giving ourselves just permission. Okay. Just permission to say no and to be present. Okay. And when we see these treats, okay, what's your favorite treat? Like a Christmas treat? Mine's the wine. That's my favorite treat. No, I love the cookies. I love almond bark, white almond bark my mom makes. Oh, and alfajores, which is this Peruvian with a dulce de leche inside. It's amazing. But we see all these treats and we feel that they're calling our names, right? And you're like, oh, I shouldn't. And then we get mad at ourselves if we don't have the willpower to just only maybe have one. Instead, you have 10. Don't let, in the food permission, do not let the treats or temptations or that type of food taunt you. Okay? When you are making things taboo and a no-no, you're actually increasing the allure. This is a brain chemical reaction. Okay? When you're saying nope, 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 you're actually increasing its allure. Okay? Yeah. It makes sense, right? We can only say no for so long before we maybe break. And then it's the guilt of like, oh my gosh, I just polished off a bag of Lay's chips. Okay? I'm going to give you an example and where we can get that sort of that freedom and food permission with, and the example of always checking in with yourself. And my biggest one is the wine. Okay. I am not a big drinker naturally. I love my wine. I love a glass or two with friends or with dinner, but I know when it goes with these parties and you always have that friend that's like, you turn your head and your glass is getting all of a sudden it's the same level for the whole night. You have to pause and check in with yourself. Have the glass, have maybe two. If a third happens, okay, or we go in excess with the second or third helping or the cookies, we don't just stop at one. We are actually abandoning ourselves. It sounds so absolute, but it's true. Right? Or we've just given it, I call it like the hella, like, forget about it. F it. We'll worry about it tomorrow. Worry about it Monday. Worry about it January. Okay? That's why when we want that food permission and freedom, don't sit there and say no, 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 no. But also, when you're having, check in with yourself. Enjoy it. Enjoy the candy, enjoy the piece of cake, enjoy the stuffing with the turkey, enjoy that glass of wine, but then just make sure you're checking in with yourself. Do I really need another one? Some days it's yes. Most days it's no. Okay? And if we get sucked in to having the whole bag of chips or the whole row of cookies or an extra huge serving, there's a reason why. Okay, we're either super depleted, we're tired. It's emotional, physiological, habitual. Okay, and that's another discussion. Okay, but please do not make it all about calories. Okay, write that down with a big asterisk beside it too. Do not make this all about calories. Okay, that is the problem with the Fit Pals and the Nooms out there. It's a control thing. All of a sudden you see, you punch in all your calories and then, oh my gosh, right? So do not make it about what you should and should not be doing. Do not be saying no, 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 no. Okay, because really where the magic happens is when we just check in with ourselves and say, what do I want? Do I want the chips? Do I want something else? It's self-awareness. Start developing it now. Because guess what? When it comes to your metabolic insurance, that helps create belief systems and behaviors that will help create consistency that you need to have that metabolic insurance. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Give me a thumbs up for those that are watching. Okay, because it's holidays, not months, right? I've heard that before. It's not holidays. It's just a few days here and there. You can do it. And it's not your make or break. It does not need to be your make or break. Allow yourself to be present in the moments and just check in with yourself. Okay, that's so freeing. And relying on motivation is so fleeting. And it's really a letdown. Okay, it's a letdown. Maybe in your own practice day to day, it's fine. But when your routine is thrown off, it's a huge letdown. Okay, and please do not grasp at the thinking that you're never going to be motivated again. I'm just going to have the 2 cookies anyways. I'm going to gain 5 pounds from this. It's all in our head, right? It's all in your head. Best thing you can do is, if you have done some indulgence, okay, is to just pick up where you left off. Don't make it an all or nothing. Okay, don't make it an all or nothing. Okay, that's the what the hell effect. When we just, eat the pizza and say, what the hell, the rest of the weekend is shot. No, have those things, enjoy it. Don't harp on it. And then the next day, get your water in there like you normally would. Do your meal timing that you normally would. Nutrition pairing strategy, if you're one of my clients that we talk about, personalized to you, okay, to get those hormones healing and working for you. Just get back into normal, right? Stop the start fresh Mondays. Okay, shift in mental space is what I always call it. So let's recap quickly here. In part 1 for our holiday metabolic series, giving yourself permission actually leads to food freedom, and how amazing and freeing that is. Just think about it. Freeing up that mental space where you're not thinking about it all the time. I shouldn't be eating that. I should be eating this. I should work out after I do that. Okay, we have back-to-back gatherings. I should do this. Should I say no to that or yes to that? Do I have time? Okay, like when it's freeing and you just do what brings you joy and happiness, and you check in with yourself. So write this down. Number 1, permission comes with self-check-in and self-awareness. Okay? There's no book saying you should and shouldn't eat this. Okay? They don't know your life. They don't know your stress level. They don't know who you live with. They don't know your environment. They don't know. Okay? But permission comes with self-check-in and self-awareness. And number 2, pick up where you left off. If you have a night in indulgences like I had Friday and Saturday, Sunday, I felt like a pickle, but I made sure my core things that I do, right? No more, no less. Because when we go to the extremes, it causes metabolic chaos. Okay? There's no more burning off the night dinner. Okay? That's very 1997. Stop. Okay? There's no starving yourself before a big dinner. Okay? Just get back to what we call in the 3M system business as usual. Okay? We learn what that means for you. Okay? And that's it. Okay? Let me know what your biggest takeaway is below in part 1 of our metabolism series, our holiday metabolism series, when it comes to food. Okay? Because there's so much around us right now. Okay? Let me know below, and any questions, share. Okay? And tomorrow we're going to be talking about staying active despite that change in routine, especially in that weird time between Christmas and New Year's when you're like, what day is it? Is it Thursday, Tuesday, 28th, 27th? Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. I love talking about this stuff. I hope you love learning about it.